So in one of my shorts, I mentioned this coding challenge where for the input n equal to 5, you're supposed to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But you're supposed to only use one for loop and as many number of if statements as, as you want. So let's solve this. First, I'll take the easy approach. The easy approach is where we'll take the problem and divide it into two phases. Let's consider this example. When n equal to 5, this is the output. So what I'll do is we'll divide both of this printing the first the numbers from 1 to 5 as phase 1, printing numbers in descending order as phase 2. So we can have a variable, suppose I, that is initially pointed to 1, which will keep printing the values and getting incremented. It will print first 1, 2, 3, 4 and then 5. Now once I reaches 5, this is where we are supposed to switch from phase 1 to phase 2. And then it should again try printing from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So after switching, we can have another variable, suppose j, which is currently initialized as 5, or you can say j can be initialized as n value. Then we will be just decrementing j as after printing each value. So this is the easiest approach. Now let us go to the code editor and write the code. Okay, so for n equal to 5, suppose I'll take another variable called phase, which will have initial value as 1. So phase will have initial value 1. Okay, we'll just take care of the phase 1 right now. So for phase 1, I've said that I will consider a variable called I and set it a value to 1. So I have declared here int I equal to 1, and for now we'll just let the condition be that I should be less than n. Less than equal to n. I should be less than or equal to n. In this code challenge, it was mentioned that we can use as many if statements as we want. We'll use our first if statement to check what in which phase we are currently in. So we'll check the value of phase. So if the value of phase is 1, we are just supposed to print 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. What we'll be doing is we'll just print cout I can just give a space after that. So we implemented this step where the I will be printed. So cout I, we implemented the phase 1, that is we are supposed to print from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this code will actually print the numbers from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let us just check if it works. So if I just run it, I'll get the output as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What I want to do now is, so when the I value reaches the value 5 or the value n, we are supposed to switch from phase 1 to phase 2. So we are supposed to check if the value of I is double equal to n. After printing, so we are supposed to print the value first, so that 5 will be first printed, then we'll check if I double equal to n. Okay, what to do if I is n? What I want right now is for this if statement to not get executed, so I can just change the phase value to suppose 2. We can implement that when I becomes n, we can change from phase 1 to phase 2 by just initializing the phase variable with value 2. So what this will do is, this if statement is no longer 2, so this will be ignored by the compiler. You can here directly write else. You can also write else if phase double equal to 2. You can also write normal else statement where we will take if phase double equal to here in this case, and I'll do the same here. Now for the second phase, so what we decided was to go with another variable called j, which will be initially initialized with the value of 5 or with the value of n. So here I can just declare another variable called j within the value of n. Then I'll just keep on printing the value of j and keep on decrementing the value of j. So I'll just say cout j space as it is, and I can just say here j minus minus. Okay, so if I run this code, for now, since we are just checking I is less than equal to n, it will just print the first 5 number like this. So what we'll be doing is, if you look at this example, The moment for the stopping value for I is when I is greater than n, that is I should be less than or equal to n for phase 1. So we have implemented that, and so for the second phase we're supposed to have j should be less than or equal to 1. So I need to also implement j is less than or equal to 1. Since we are using two variables I and j, we're supposed to check both the variables I and j should be fall in the perfect range, that is I should be less than equal to n and j should be less than equal to 1. So we are checking both the conditions here. I is less than equal to n and j is less than equal to, sorry, not less than, j should be greater than or equal to 1. And then here we cannot do I plus plus, because once this phase is done and the next phase starts, it will still do the I plus plus, and then this function will this condition will be fail and will just come out of the loop. So what we can do is we can remove we can remove this I plus plus, and we can just put the I plus plus here. Also, I cannot put here I plus plus directly, because when I will be n, the phase will be set to 2. So currently, suppose if I consider in this example, if the value of I is actually at the 5 value, so I is actually currently 5. So this statement will be true. So phase will be set to 2, and now I will also become 6 here. And when it comes out of the if statement, the else statement will be skipped, and it again check for the for condition. It will check if I is less than or equal to n. But in this case, I is 6 and n is 5, so 6 is not less than or equal to 5. So the controller will just move out of the for loop and phase 2 will not be initiated. So what I'll do is I'll just put here else I plus plus. You can also put here or operator to actually fix this. Currently I'm just making use of AND operator and I'm using taking this approach. So what this will do is it will first check if the value of I is actually n, then it will set the phase to 2. Otherwise it will just increment the value of I, because when the value of I is n, we don't want to increment the value of I. We can just simply start with phase 2. That's what we are doing here. For j minus minus, it's not necessary to check it, because this is the last phase. We can just simply come out of the loop. Let me run the code here. So we are getting 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. That is the correct output. So for the end line, we can just give the end line here. This is where the actual phase changes, so we can just provide here and see out end line. We can run the code again and we'll get the output as 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. If I change the value of n to suppose 7, I should get from 7. So I'm getting 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 7 6 5 4 3 2 1. So this is how we can actually solve the coding problem in this simple way using the phase concept.